All right. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Sneaking into Movies. I'm your host, Chris, with my co host, as always, Jason. We're going to be reviewing 2024's Piece by Piece tonight. Jason, as always, we're going to start with, did you like this? Would you recommend this movie?
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
Not to your kids, but
Okay.
I definitely recommend it.
You know, Jason, I find this movie to be a sort of lovable disaster, as I sort of call it. It's about halfway into it. Now, listen, I love Pharrell. He is an iconoclast of music. I love all his producing. I've NERD. I have the CD. Big fan. But as I'm watching this, like halfway into it, I'm thinking, Pharrell, you were so busy thinking if you could make it into a Lego movie, you didn't think enough about if you should make it into a Lego movie. With great power comes great responsibility, and I think it's just, who is this for? Who is this movie for? It's a Lego movie. It's not for kids.
Okay, I thought about this. I was even thinking about this before I saw your text message.
Yes.
Who is this for?
Who is this for?
It's for me. It's for my brother Travis.
Okay.
It is not for his son. It's not for anybody else I know. And I'll tell you why. A little quick story. We went to the Chihuly Museum of Glass. Yes. Pretty cool.
Yep.
When we were walking through, this guy was like, "Oh, do you have any questions?" I was like, "No, we literally just walked into the museum. I have no questions." Right. But when we're walking back out, I was like, "What's this stuff called?" It looked like pieces of sand, glass. He's like, "It's called frit." And I was like, "Oh, okay. What does it do?" He's like, they're colored pieces of glass that are finely ground up, and all glass starts out clear, and you roll this through, and then you get the color. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm literally never going to use that knowledge, but thank you. So then,
use it right now.
I did, and then we go over and see the glass blowing demonstration.
Yeah.
And she looks at me, and I was like, "Do you know what that stuff's called that they're rolling the glass in?" She's like, "No." I was like, "It's called frit." This movie is that, because I'm watching it, and every single song, when Nori is talking, I'm going, what, in my head before it even starts, because I'm like, I know what the song is. And of course, we're the same age as she knows the songs, but I knew every single song. I felt like that person at a party that is waiting for you to talk about something they know. The architect is waiting for you to talk about a building from 1942. And I'm like, I know everything. It's for me. I don't
It's
know
a Lego
that
movie, dude. It's a Lego movie. That's for families. You know when Seth Rogen had that animated, it's like the sausage, was it Sausage Party?
Oh,
it's an animated R-rated movie. It was for adults. It was marketed towards adults, but the Lego brand is a family brand. Even those Lego, the Batman movie or all that stuff, it's still like family kind of content. And I'm watching this with my son, and he keeps asking me, like, when are we going to get to when he sings Happy? Because that's all kids. It's like, you're getting there, bud. It has to come. There's a certain arc this has to take. And as I'm watching it, and of course, me and you, same age group, I'm watching the story of Pusha T, and as they make like the Clips music video, and my son's right there, and I'm thinking, the Lego executives must be watching some of this and being like, or maybe we should have.
They're like, wait, grinding.
Yes, what is this about?
What comes next in that song? And I'm going, okay,
all the edits, all the words that there's no great way to edit some of the words, and so it's just a lot of oomph happening in the Lego movie, and then with Snoop Dogg as well, trying to PG, make him more PG, as they said in the movie. It's okay. Let me add this piece of context, because I just want to get to this part. Morgan Neville is the director. Morgan Neville is an acclaimed documentarian. So he made a documentary about Pharrell in the the medium of Lego, and my God, it is weird. It's just, I'm sorry, it's cool, but it is not. It's just, again, I keep going back to what audiences is it for? He's made. Let me just share some of his documentaries because I think he's done like really cool ones that I think you have seen. Roadrunner, that movie about Anthony Bourdain. You see that one? Very good.
I skipped it because he died, and I was
okay.
Like,
well, it's very sad, but very well done documentary. Won't You Be My Neighbor about Mr. Rogers? Excellent. Well, I think it won some awards. Very good.
He was not a sniper in the military like I was led to believe. That was,
okay. Yeah.
That's what they said back in the day.
I understand.
Before we could Snopes it.
Did you see 20 Feet to Stardom about backup singers? I did not see that one. I regret it. Everyone said that's excellent.
It won an Oscar.
Yeah,
and I watched the trailer, and it looks so good.
Okay, so acclaimed documentarian. I mean, obviously, Pharrell is a music, legend, and I'm sure he produced this. Side note, or spoiler alert, it lost a lot of money at the box office because when a movie costs like $16 million to make, and then it only makes $10 million in the box office, you don't add on the other costs in.
Is it losing money if you no? Now here's the thing. So Pharrell, I saw he had a Louis Vuitton bag that he designed that cost $500,000. After this movie is made, he does a I think it's To the Moon collaboration with Lego. How much do you think that would have cost them to do?
Jason, look at your thinking. That's very smart. Absolutely. You know what the Super Bowl they like? It's all brand. In that particular case, in that like greater context, I think you're absolutely right. Like that's a Super Bowl. They have to pay. All those artists have to pay for all their production, but the value they get, the brands and the money they get from being like, just out there is so much more. So in that context, even though it lost money technically in its theatrical, run, to your point, the branding deals and all that will be. It was just interesting to me to see like the Lego brand really stretching as I'm seeing some of like the artists in there and some of the lyrics, which I know what those lyrics mean. I know, you know what I mean? And
there was a part where I knew the story of Rump Shaker because I heard it a few years back. He's like 19 and he does the rap. He basically writes the song. So I was like, how are they going to do Rump Shaker? Because I remember the video. So how are they going to do that with Legos? Are they going to make Legos with their booties bouncing? They did not, because it is, again, a kid's thing. But still, I'm going, I know the lyrics to this song. So they must have been like, hey, we can only use like this 15 seconds.
Yeah.
You can't use the rest. I thought part of it was you ask an artist to sit down. He's a visual artist. He's an auditory artist. You ask him to sit down and go, hey, let's do 15 hours of interviews. And I'll pick the best hour and then we'll fill it in with other people.
Yeah.
I feel like he's probably like, you know what? You could just use 15 hours of video that exists already. You don't need me to do that. And I guess this was actually thought up like a decade ago.
I'm sure he
He approached them and what I want to know is, how do you convince Lego to let you make a movie? Because he basically made the movie. So he goes, I want this movie. You attach an Oscar-winning director, and he wrote it too. The director wrote it. Yeah. His whole team that did the 20 Feet from Stardom, they wrote and directed this movie.
Okay.
But still, I'm just going, Lego doesn't. It's pretty huge. They don't.
It's huge. I'm sure they've made obviously they've made a bigger push into co-branding and the Batman and the I've seen the video games, lots of like different franchises use them as video games, so I know there's been a strategic effort into expanding their brand. But gosh, this one just seemed a little, I don't know, a little off brand to me. Like I'm thinking, I guess in my mind it's a tough call because it's like on one hand I wish he would have expressed it. If you want to do an animated documentary, which is cool, with maybe different styles of animation, Pharrell, like, and to show your different influences or whatever, awesome. I guess to the other side of that though, Lego has such an inherent, like he was going to reach more people that way. I guess I'm just thinking about it like I like all this, but if I'm I don't know, Jason. Maybe I'm getting old here, but it's like if I'm bringing my young kids to this thinking it's a Lego movie, I would be. It's not a Lego movie.
I don't. Is it called it's called Piece by Piece, right?
It's called Piece by Piece.
Is Lego even in the title?
Now, Jason, I don't see it in the title, except, no, it's just using promotional materials too.
See, that's the thing. You had the expectation that you saw the trailer, you're like, "Oh, this is a Lego movie." It is not a Lego movie.
I mean, so
we can add it to, but
yeah.
It's not. It's made out of Legos, but it's not a Lego movie.
So you don't think it's like has any official license with it? It's like
no, it's definitely a movie made by Lego with Legos, but I don't know that I want to call it. I don't want to put it in the same category. Okay, let's play a game here, which this is not an original game, but so there's been 5 Lego movies. We're gonna count this as one. I'm gonna read them off, and you tell me which one you think made the most money. So I'm gonna start number 1, the original Lego movie, 2014, cost $60 million to make.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 2, the Lego Batman movie, 2017, cost $80 million to make.
Wow.
Number 3, Lego Ninjago movie, which was not bad, but those toys were huge at the time. $70 million to make. Lego Movie 2, 2019, $99 million to make.
Mm-hmm.
And this, we're gonna just call it the 5th Lego movie, the theatrical release.
Yes.
Piece by Piece, 2024. Was it 16 or 16? 16 million to make.
So I think once you, where the hell are they spending the rest of that money? I mean, maybe bigger uses of the software or something that builds the characters, giving new places. That seems like high.
I mean, if Beyonce got paid $1.5 million to do Kamala's rally, Jay-Z needed $1.5 million.
You asked me to guess which one was the most successful.
Yeah, which one do you think was most
successful? I'm going
to
guess the second one.
First one, Lego Movie number 1.
Wow.
$470 million.
Wow. Good for them.
Yeah. Lego Movie, Lego Batman, $312 million. Those
Good
are huge numbers. Lego Movie 2, $190 million. Lego Ninjago, $122. Piece by Piece, $10.
Terrible.
That's terrible. But it only needs to make $6 million more.
No, it doesn't. So, no, it's even. I think it's 16. Even. I guess we have to see the details, but usually I think it's like 16 is just the cost. It doesn't include like the actual
promotion and marketing.
Film and promotion and marketing costs. Oof, and so that's why. Remember we talked about shelving was it Batgirl shelving the movie? Yeah. Sometimes when you look at the math and it's like, well, how deep do you want to go into this? Because it's not going to make any money. But I think this is enough. Pharrell probably financed it enough to say like, no, this is going to help my brand.
I don't know why it needed to come out in the movies. I think right now it's almost like a tease where they go, hey, let's do the theatrical release just because that's what we do. But we have no way of thinking this is going to make money. I watched that movie Smile 2 in the movies because I like those kind of movies. It's streaming on Paramount this week. I watched it a month ago.
But you know what? I've come to think about something. Hold on. You know how it's getting shorter and shorter, the cycle in between? The difference is palpable to me. Like watching a theatrical movie, like when we have gone to see movies with like the Dolby Atmos and it's that auditory experience or just the extra big IMAX experience. I don't care if it comes out the week later. I'm going for that experience. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, it's on video. You saw it. It's not nearly as good. A lot of films I talk about, like I see that are great in the theaters. Like I love the Dune movies, and I loved, what's the Christopher Nolan one where it's real Dunkirk? Dunkirk in the theaters is amazing, so cinematic. And then when people watch it at home, they're like, yeah, it's just it loses all of that. So it's like I don't mind. So Smile 2, a horror movie. Having that now, you probably may have seen it at a different time, but normally when you see that with a packed theater, you're going for that sort of shared experience, that communal experience. So that's what you're paying for. I'm excited. I feel very bullish about the theatrical experience, or just experiences in general, as things become more isolated. People want to get, have more of those, like.
But you run into a problem, because if you're only going to have things in the theaters for a couple weeks, you need a lot more content. Like, you're going to need some Netflix. You're going to need some AI to generate some scripts, because you're not going to have enough content where we went and watched Red 1 with The Rock and J.K.
Nobody
Simmons.
else.
Yeah, it was just
that
just
doesn't seem like enough of a that's so strange. I really thought that was like a Netflix movie.
It was
better than that.
No.
Okay.
No, it's better than a Hallmark Christmas movie.
The Rock, Dwayne's on the downslide right now. He needs to find some better content.
Well, let me ask you. So what did you think of the movie? Take out the fact that you're there with your kids watching it with you.
Yes.
If it's just you, what do you think of the movie? Not thinking it's a Lego movie.
Well, I like all that. I'm in the same. I grew up listening to the same music as you, basically, so I'm singing along too. And it's fun to see sort of the inside thing of, like, Snoop Dogg saying that was my first ever #1 hit, and learning some new things about it, and just seeing, like, when a certain sound. Sorry, I'm gonna take one tangent here, but I'm gonna bring it back together. Watch this really good documentary called Yacht Rock.
The Weave.
I'm about to weave.
Famous by our next president.
That's right. I'm going to weave. I'm going to duck and weave. I'm going to come back here. Hold on. I watched Yacht Rock, this documentary, or a documentary, DOCK, on Max, HBO. So good, but it talked about just the influence when a certain, like, group of a sound kind of catches on, and maybe some studio musicians or producers. The influence just, like, spreads out like a tree, like a coaching tree. Everyone's influenced by that. So to come back and see, like, when Pharrell and NERD, and they sort of, like, catch on, and that sound kind of catches on, and then everybody is using it. It's so influential, and you hear it in so many things. So I love that part about it. It was just so fascinating just to have lived through his up and coming. But I keep going back to, like, my God, why did you do this in a Lego movie?
Well, okay, I'm going to defend that right now. I read they had to make special Lego pieces just for the movie, because they're like, we don't have anything for that.
Yes.
That's your vision. I get it, but that doesn't exist, so we'll just make it. But I kind of think, and excuse me when people say I think, I usually think they don't know what they're talking about. They're just saying stuff. I believe I've watched a lot of documentaries. You've watched a lot of documentaries.
Yes.
You've watched music documentaries because you like music. When have you ever seen one this creative? It's a linear story of poor kid from the ghetto, just literally serendipity that the biggest music producer in the world at the time puts his studio in some small town in Virginia.
Yeah.
It's luck. It's luck that you went to high school with Missy Elliott in Timbaland and Chad. And Chad. Pusha T. Like, that's just all luck.
Jason, is it luck, or is it when opportunity meets preparation?
That part right there. So just watching the whole story, his story's not unique. I saw Scott Storch talking the other day, and he said, I dated Paris Hilton, and she wanted to make music, and I wanted to be famous. So that's the only thing we had in common. And I just did lots of drugs. He's like,
I think there's some other things, you guys.
He's like, I dated Kim Kardashian before she was famous, and I just wanted to be high and be famous. Okay. This story is not unique of someone pissing away their talent and trying to make that comeback when people go, no one listens to that anymore. And then in the end, he's able to turn it around. So the story's not unique, but I've never seen it told like this. I've seen animated stories, but I've never seen someone kind of think outside the box and go, I live my life in pieces and I put them together. And that's basically the theme of the movie.
I like the metaphor. And you know what? To that,
I'm trying. I'm trying.
No, listen, to that point, as far as what has been more creative, I can't think of one that's been more like, that outwardly expressive and creative as that form. And to that point, that's fair. In that way, it's good. I guess my mind just goes back to like sometimes when you try too hard, it loses it. I don't know. It loses its focus or loses its direction. I can't call it a bad movie. Like I said, it's a lovable disaster, and I mean disaster as far as like just the audience, I guess.
There's no market for it. Can I tell you a quick story real quick?
Please.
So I'm watching the movie and I'm just like, when is Happy coming in here? I was like, did he not get clearance for Happy? Is that why it's taking forever?
No, you have to save it because that's what everyone knows.
Yeah, because it's at the end. Do you know who originally was supposed to sing Happy?
I'm going to say Pitbull.
No, so when he wrote the song, he had CeeLo Green do the demo for it, and they sent it to the studio, and the studio's like, yeah, no. So he's like, oh yeah, so I just sang it. I had no intention of singing it, and that was his first solo number one song.
He did it. I saw this one side note. We're gonna kind of come to the closing part of this because we're dragging now. Okay, I saw this thing where it talked about the money people can make, and it's like if you own the publishing, if you are the writer of it, if you have like extra credit, so to speak, with when something's streaming, you make like X, and it's pretty good when you own everything on it. But they're like, once you hit like radio, you're making $1 million a week. Once you hit global like radio, you're making millions of dollars a week just from the radio. So that song was a worldwide number one for some time. So he's literally printing money during that time of Happy. And I've got to think because he's the producer, he owns extra cuts of it. So I think just that song is like generational wealth.
Good for him.
Good for him. And all the Pharrell, kids that will go on to do things.
What do you rate it?
Okay, we're going to move to the rating section. Okay, Jason, I'm going to give you, just like last time, your choice. We did 4 out of 4 stars last time. What do you want to do this time?
I want to do 5 Lego pieces.
Okay, we're going to do out of 5 Lego pieces that you step on in the middle of the night and curse out the Lego company for their little objects that blend in with the carpet. Okay. Jason, how many out of 5 Lego pieces, how many would you give it?
I'm going to give it 4.
4? Really? Not more than 4? Okay, 4. Jason, I like this movie, but I don't love it. Like I said, lovable disaster. I take that back. So I guess the disaster part makes it into like I'm going to put it into the 3.9 out of 5. Interesting.
I want to up mine then.
Okay.
I want to do 4.25 Lego pieces.
Okay, Jason has upped his. That's what I was saying. Do decimal points, man. Sophisticated show here.
Well, we got to break a Lego in pieces.
3.9. Okay. Anything else, Jason?
Yeah. What music documentary or music movie would you recommend? Since we like to recommend movies for people to watch.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me just reference some really good ones. Ooh, you know what I like that just came out a few years ago? It's called Searching for Sugar Man. Phenomenal.
Oh, I saw that. That's the homeless dude that plays guitar or something like that.
Yes. Summer of Soul is excellent. Hype. I don't know about that Bowie one that just came out. That wasn't that good. Buena Vista Social Club I really liked. I love that soundtrack. Still play it.
What is that a movie?
It's like Cuban music. That's really good. Those are some of the ones I like. What about you, Jason?
I would recommend Metallica's Some Kind of Monster.
Oh yeah.
That was really good. Nothing with Bob Dylan because I don't care about Bob Dylan.
Really? His movie coming out. Timothy Chalamet playing.
I know, like I don't.
Yeah.
Let's see. I would love a Lenny Kravitz one.
Yeah,
because I read the book, and the book is so entertaining. Okay,
Lenny Kravitz has a book. Okay,
I listened.
Jason. My God.
No, I'm telling you, it is actually. He's lived a very interesting, entertaining life. I think when your parents are famous, Like his dad was like he was some kind of like lawyer that worked for NBC or something like that.
Yeah.
And then his mom was on the Jeffersons. So,
yeah.
it lends itself to kind of like a Hollywood story.
Was his dad black or his mom black?
His mom is black. She was the neighbor, Tom, the white guy married to the black woman.
Yes.
That's his mom.
Yes. Okay. It's like I vaguely remember the show from that time. And so the dad is like a white Jewish man?
Yeah, that's like Cy Kravitz. That's pretty Jewish.
Pretty good mix, man. Well, he turned out great. And then we just talked about his daughter's debut, last time. So, yeah, we'd like to see that too. Okay, Jason, we're going to wrap it up here. 25 minutes long episode. We're going to be back next week. We're going to have to do something international. Let's do an international film next time. Ooh.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, coming out soon is the new Nosferatu. I am super geeked out about this one. Robert Eggers.
Really?
Oh my God, Jason. I saw the original just recently at Tampa Theater with like the Radiohead soundtrack. It's so good. I've watched, like, subsequently they've made multiple versions of this. This one is a fantastic American filmmaker, one of the best going right now. All sorts of great actors. Robert Eggers, did you see Lighthouse? Did you see The Witch?
I saw I didn't really like The Witch that
much. Well, okay, fair enough. But it was so atmospheric. It had such a good atmosphere. But The Lighthouse, my God. Norseman was okay. Norseman was really well done, but
I watched some of that.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it.
All right.
Okay, so I will look forward to this Nosferatu.
My God, it looks great.
I thought you didn't do horror movies.
Okay,
is it a vampire movie?
You know what? It's the vampire movie. It's like the quintessential Dracula vampire movie. They've remade it many times. It's like the structure of it, of just how the chapters go, is just so good. And I can't wait to see it. Willem Dafoe is in it. The one kid, who's the Skarsgård? He played like it, that Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård.
Okay, Bill Skarsgård is basically Count Dracula. Very excited to see that one. All great reviews coming out. Some people have already seen it, so we had to jump on that one.
Okay,
it's like a horror movie, but not really. It's like, can't wait to see it. Okay, Jason, thanks for coming on. Thanks everybody for listening. We're gonna not get a copyright infringement on this episode here by using limited pieces piece by piece. Tune it again next time.
I'll say it real quick. I was as I'm watching it, I was like, I could do this and I could do none of that's gonna fly on this. They're gonna go, no. There's a million different people would be go, no, you can't use our music. Yeah. You can't even use our scenes.
So you get like a second or two of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jason. Hang on the line. We're gonna let it record.